Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 29 of the build guide 2. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Massive thanks for all the support last week. You guys really enjoyed this start to our Skyline, lots of wonderful feedback, and some nice constructive feedback as well. It's going to come up from the Skyline Queen Rich that we need to move our tower over by our town. We certainly will do when we come to develop our oceanfront park, and just really enjoyed it. Thanks for all support. It's nice to be playing with this kind of like modular Skyline, isn't it? It's a lot of fun. And today is part 2, so we're going to be working on this central area today, and some concerns as well in the comments that we might be clipping the towers with some planes once the eventual international airport is placed on this island, but we will make sure that we're at least a sensible distance from those towers. But today we're going to create the peak of the Skyline, lots of skyscrapers from the content creator pack, and a financial trade plaza as well. Start part 2 of downtown Orchid Bay, shall we? Okay everyone, so let's start out with the financial trade district of the city. So of course most things here are going to be based in and around our stock exchange plaza. So this DLC is kind of a joke for me. I really don't like the whole financial trading thing, but there are a few assets that I want to use in my Skyline. One including the underground garden plaza, and the next one being the international trade building, which is level 5. So we're going to try and get to level 5 today. But let's open some investment, shall we? So yeah, it's kind of a gimmick, this whole thing. So we'll just have a little mooch through and see what we can possibly trade. I mean, I guess the healthcare's on the floor, right? So let's buy all the healthcare shares, and then we'll go and stick a hospital somewhere. Let's just go for right here for right now. Okay, and then just due to how cheesy this is, we can just watch it go up again, hopefully. Hopefully we're getting a little bit more than that. So we'll sell it for 60 grand. And then that gets us to level 2. Gives us a small bank. Wonderful news. Fantastic. Now to hit 250 grand. So what I'll probably do is just keep doing this off camera, because this is incredibly boring. And I guess we could buy some traffic shares as well. Like, our traffic's pretty good, so seems like a good one to invest in. He says that as he loses immediately 58,000 on the shares, of course. And SharePower is very strong after we built the airport, I guess. So we can sell the greasy gasoline shares now. Should give us a fair amount of money, I think. Let's go to upgrade that one. Wonderful. So again, I kind of want to keep the stock exchange really at level 2. So when you actually delete it, it goes back to level 1. So we'll probably do that. So it's just so ridiculous, isn't it? It just gets that glass tower stuck on top of it. I guess level 3 isn't too bad. It gets really ridiculous at level 4 and 5, doesn't it? Yeah, I think if you haven't picked up the Financial Districts DLC yet, probably leave it the last one you get. It's easily the most underwhelming. There's a 92 grand profit on the traffic shares. We'll take that as well. The deathcare service has dropped, so it seems like a good time to buy that. And then I guess we can just go and place like a deathcare building, right? Let's just go and stick one of the Korean ones down somewhere and just see if we can get it working. Just go for right there. Again, it's not a permanent solution, but it will hopefully grow the investment at least. And forestry has just had the arse fall out of it, so let's buy some shares in that one. Let's have a little look what else we've got to do. Sure, let's sell those for 43,000. But anyway, I'm going to keep trading shares until we get to level 5, right? So we'll be right back. So I'm not going to lie, the more I'm looking at the stock exchange, the more I'm actually liking it. I really didn't like this when it first came out, but in Orchid Bay's Skyline, I think it has a place, right? It's currently level 4. We've made a horrific investment on the cruise liners. I bought all the shares and then the arse fell out of them. So do not take any financial advice from me. Well, either way, we do now have the level 4 stuff unlocked. It does lock us out of the international trade building, which is a bit of a shame. We might just, I think that's just going to come with time, isn't it? But we've got to invest another, basically, 750,000 before we get there. But let's get on with the build, shall we? So I definitely want our financial stock exchange here to be part of our downtown, and I want to centre it in front of the underground garden plaza, which is pretty much going to centralise bang on within this space that we've prepared here, directly outside of our transport hub, which is going to be cool. You alright, Sand? Goodness me, you okay, cities? Do we need to rethink what's happening here? Hopefully that's going to go away. Again, just kind of sums up this DLC, doesn't it? Okay, so anyway, let's come in now with some 2-lane road with median. We're going to want a little bit of fanciness around our main center, so we'll go with the trees. We'll have that hook in there, and then I want to position the stock exchange just adjacent across the road. Hopefully I can get that money back because I've invested quite a lot. We'll just have to wait and see. You see the arse has just fallen out of Chirpa Crypto as well. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it anyway. Cool. So it's going to be pretty nice, right? Again, orientation that we check from all angles is very important here. I'm going to be happy with that as a nice crawl into our skyline. I mentioned in the last episode that one of the skyscrapers content creator pack towers is going to take the pinnacle point of Orchid Bay's skyline, and this is going to be the 6 River Center, which is an absolute beast. Okay, this thing is enormous, and I want this to sit right on the corner adjacent to our financial district, and that's what I really want to do. Is kind of a good way to start your main skyline is surrounding a plaza with towers. You get a real sense of importance. And just super cool looking. I love these super tools. Again, if you are missing the Skyscrapers Content Creator Pack, links down below to Instant Gaming. So there's also a tower called Large Bank Building, which is this one here, which is actually a building from Singapore. And it looks like we can squeeze it in here. Again, kind of in and around our financial district. And this is going to have a great drive-by from the elevated road as well. Really cool. Great, isn't it? Super tall. We'll make sure that we're happy with this. Wonderful, right? Starting to see that climb now from last episode, right? We're getting taller and taller. Everything's slowly coming together. There's another favourite of mine, which are the Turum Towers, which are somewhere here. These ones here, yeah, the Turum Park and the Galastone. So let's have this one directly in there. Again, this one's got some really nice angles on it. And also consider the orientation, you know, of these towers sometimes. Sometimes just switching it to a different angle can be an absolute game changer just for getting it to fit right. So consider that as well if you're not quite happy with something. But already now looking down these transport corridors, we're going to be having just such a cool approach into Nubio. Not Nubio, Orchid Bay. Sorry, still 29 episodes in, I'm still calling this city Nubio. How about that? Oh, that's so good. I absolutely love that. This is going to be the happiest egg, right? This is all downhill from this episode onwards. Cool, but these towers are just such a massive difference maker. And they're all really cool against the bottom as well. I like all these little gardens, and we can even extend some false gardens ourselves if we like around the bottom of these towers, which we'll have a little look at. So you could zone this up, but it kind of takes away from the tower, I think, in not all cases. Sometimes a little bit of zoning can be welcome. But I think what we will do here is just create our own little garden around the base of the tower. We'll grab a relatively fancy content creator tree. Let's go for some lindens maybe, right? Let's have these just run parallel, and then we can maybe... Yeah, I'll just keep it like that, right? Yeah. Maybe even upgrade the path around the bottom to a part life path, just so we get the benches in the bins. Might be a little fancier for downtown, perhaps. Okay, and you can just essentially extend the base of those towers out if they don't quite fill a perfect grid for you. Very similar to how they've been designed here as well, you know. It's always fun extending little plaza spaces at the bottom of the major towers. Cool, but let's not just focus on the Skyscrapers Content Creator Pack. I'd also like to have some stuff in from Modern Japan here. This does have my favourite of all the towers in, the Office Skyscraper, which is an absolute beast. And hopefully this one's going to settle in. Let's see, where can we go here? Where do you want to live? Possibly there. Again, I'm looking to respect these corners now. But it's all about making this central financial plaza very important. So I want to make sure that the buildings are angled to respect that. Love these towers. Isn't it amazing just how far sort of the unmodded experience has come in cities now with all the content creator packs? Such a cool way to honour the community as well, to give, you know, the asset creators their own packs and stuff. There's a match day going on as well. We did have some comments suggesting to kind of include some things around the stadium here. I'm a little bit reluctant to do that purely because I think it's cool to kind of have the stadium speak for itself. You know, it's kind of got this grass lawn in the run up to it. I think it's pretty nice, but I do want to see if we can bring in some pathways to help complement them. Even though we can't hook in, the texture will still combine. So I think we'll hook into a grid and do this in each of the corners, just so they come in. I don't actually know if they will walk. I guess we'll find out together. And then, yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter where we come from here, does it? Let's just go for that one. And then we'll hook in there, and then do the same thing again on this side. Just so it kind of gives a bit more purpose to those lawns. But yeah, I kind of don't really want to place anything around the stadium, just for fear of taking away from it. Oh, and they're enjoying a match with all these new towers growing up around them. Imagine the horror in the fans' faces as entire skyscrapers spawn in front of them. Horrific. Absolutely terrifying. You guys alright? You're missing the game. You need to get inside the stadium. It's already kicked off, boys. What are you doing? Maybe they're all in awe at the new towers spawning in front of them, aren't they? Cool, but let's take a look now from far away. A much further viewpoint is very much appreciated when you're building your Skyline. I think I'm going to appreciate that, okay? Really see Orchid Bay's towers coming into fruition now. Especially from over on our main little transport centre over here in the suburbia. Wonderful. Really like that. That's just really nice, isn't it? Tremendous news. Okay, let's carry on now. Let's return to the wonderful world. So we've got some other ones as well. The company headquarters is a really nice tower. I've always enjoyed this one over here. We can probably find a place for it to go. I think maybe we'll have this one out here though. Maybe give this a bit of a kind of landscaped garden around it in a different part of the city. For right now, I really want to focus on the super tools. So there's the Jubilee Motors building as well, which is an absolute chungus, pure chungus vibes here. So let's see what we can do with this. Okay, so I'm thinking I'd actually rather bring a road a little bit further down now to actually hold this building. So let's go ahead and do that. I want to bring it, yeah, basically like this, and then hook it through, and then hopefully we can place that tower right on there, which we can. And again, is there anything we want to do there? Maybe we can probably squeeze in a little car park next to that, can't we? So we'll have that there, and then we'll chuck in a little car park. This one right here, up on the corner. Okay, and then maybe we can kind of help just expand that little tree palette that comes with the Galstrom tower. To just hover around the edge with a little eastern cottonwood line. And then again, that effect of using pathways to help expand the bottom of the towers will come in handy for a bit of vanilla downtown street detailing, even though it's elevating. I think I have had this happen before actually with the towers. It can be a little odd. Was it doing with the vanilla one? Okay, let's try it with vanilla. Okay, see how it just elevates there slightly? It's a little odd. It happens sometimes. So in that case then we will extend that eastern cottonwood line to run along the bottom of the tower, which is actually kind of quite nice. I do appreciate that. Awesome. Again, super wide boy. And that's going to sit nicely as a real thick tower, isn't it? So there's something I want to happen here. On review of the public transport networks, this station doesn't really make sense here to carry on. If anything, the metro wants to curve off to the right near the stadium. So that's what's going to happen. We're going to remove this stop here, which then takes this one over there. So this will all be deleted. And then the metro is now going to come out this way, and we want to match with a road guideline in the angle here. And then we want to start curving along with this monorail, which is going to give us again some more kind of cute, appreciated parallel network spices once this monorail and metro actually flows. So we'll have this go this way, and then just across there for right now, and then we'll need to find a place to hook this in. Probably here again, actually would be a good spot for it, so let's align a road to hold it. And again, it'd be nice if it could almost be sort of fronted up against the interchange, wouldn't it? Okay, and then because this actually has the pathways out the back of it, what we can do is actually use this as an excuse to factor in to our oceanfront park build. That's going to occupy a lot of this space. It's going to be nice to have some metro included in that. So we'll prepare that to happen. I guess we can actually get this flowing now as well, can't we? Let's just amend any angles. Cool, and that gives us a curve for the metro to come through. And hopefully now this will provide the end of the line, although I'm pretty sure we're going to have to redraw this, or is it okay? Should be alright, I think. And that one on there, we also had someone point out that we missed an underground metro stop on these lines. Well spotted, guys. Thank you so much. I think now we've got all the stops here, haven't we? Everyone's happy at this point. Wonderful news. Fantastic. So they're actually stopping there now, which makes sense. So yeah, we'll have the metro run off there now, and eventually over the water and far away. And it's going to be really cool now to also see, you can hopefully enjoy the addition of metro moving around from the sight line of the baseball stadium now. It is super cool. I really like that. So we'll see metro moving around, which is great. We'll also see some very dark towers from over here as well. Shame the vanilla shadows are so dark, isn't it? But we'll hopefully come to be able to do something about that anyway. So now we've got the metro sorted. There's a really cool asset from the Korea Content Creator Pack. This one right here, the Jangbi Soft RD Center, which is amazing, right? So we're going to have this right on the waterfront here, facing out to the ocean, which is going to look fantastic. And I then want to use the high-speed rail viaduct from the train station's Content Creator Pack to allow this one to come out. And then what this will do, once it's in place and flows where it needs to go, we're going to have the regular train station out here from plazas and promenades. We're going to have this one, and then we're going to use that high-speed rail viaduct. And what this is going to do is like allow the trains, well, you're going to see them flow through the building here, which is, well, not through it, just behind it. Which is going to be so cool. Again, if you had Anarchy, you could totally bring a network through this, and I think we're going to try in Thessia to try and bring a monorail through this A shape, which will look just fantastic. And then we want to bring this train line now as well to the new station by the baseball park. And then this is going to stop back at the transport hub, just like so. How busy is this now? 803 a week. It certainly gets busier than that. We'll see how it goes on. Okay, but I really want to see a train flow through here. Okay, so here we go. The internal train is now leaving. And hopefully with the viewpoint directly behind the A, we can see the train move. That's so good. That is so cool. What a wonderfully amazing asset this one is, right? First time we've ever really used it. But a nice initial kind of step down from our Skyline, I feel. Super important waterfront asset too. Really nice one, that. Again, Hearts of Korea Content Creator Pack if you're missing that one. So this one here actually looks like it might fit in quite snugly against this area down this way, just outside that metro station. Also gives us another significant peak within the Skyline as well, doesn't it? Okay. So there's also a little spot here just behind the stock exchange, and I feel like one of those super thin, almost like razor towers would be really nice here. We've got two of them left. We've got this one, which I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, and then we've got the Torre Conde Paulista tower. It does kind of help the stock exchange not look as cartoonish, doesn't it? Because of those stupid coin logos on top of it. I don't hate it. How are we feeling from down below? Again, a path between would help them settle in more, I feel. But also, am I affecting the symmetry of the whole central stock exchange plaza by doing that? I feel like this one's going to be a divisive one in the comments, isn't it? How about the other one? The other one's not as impactful, is it? I don't think. I think what we will do, because this is such a popular sight line down the Riverwalk for people, just thinking actually we could probably do with another pedestrian pathway over the river now as well, couldn't we? You alright over here? What's going on for Graveyard? Bit of abandonment in the power plant. Yeah, everyone's alright, aren't they? Bit of crime at the airport. It's not too bad. Why is our budget 46,000? What are we making? So that was such a bad investment. Don't invest in Chirpy Cruisers. What's making us grow so much? Why are we having so much fun? 148,000 from residential. Plus 54,000 now. I was expecting the economy to get a good see into this episode because we're placing so many super expensive towers, but it's actually growing. So it just shows what I know, doesn't it? I feel like this actually might be better served a little further down the riverway. Something like that. I'm really keen to have a super impressive riverfront walk. And then I think we'll throw in the other tower. You won't fit this way, will you? No, you're too tall. Same again here as well. I guess it could also go here, couldn't it? I'm very wary of blocking the horrible stock exchange building. Which is not something I thought I would say. I do like this against the main road though, it has to be said. This is a very nice position for that tower. It also allows us to have some more spices up against the elevated road, which again is kind of always appreciated now, isn't it? We could couple it with other towers as well if we want to. Okay, anyway, we'll leave and just see how it grows on us over the course of the episode, I think. Let's have a look what else we want to use here. So the Takashiba tower is also a pretty nice one. And actually looks like it'd fit in near perfectly there. So I think I'm on board with that one. I kind of like this little groove in the side of the building though, I think, to be switched around. I don't hit that for right now, I don't think. It's slowly piecing together. I do feel like I want to better align the monorail lines though than they already are currently. I guess we'll see. Sounds like a job for detailing egg, doesn't it? So we got some more super talls here as well. We've got the Tor Bellini, which is a nice chunky one. So let's see if we can slot that in just next to our pathwork there. Looks like it's going to fit in perfectly for me, doesn't it? Again, I don't want anything to get taller than the Six Rivers Centre, right? That's my peak. But look how important that financial district is now making itself known, right? Super cool. So good. Massive difference to Skylines now in vanilla, right, with that content creator pack. Sorry for so much thorny, happy skyscraper egg this episode, everyone, but we only get a Skyline episode once a series, so we have to enjoy it when it comes around, right? Yeah, I'm on board with that though. Let's leave that one in. We've also got Tower 69, which is nice. And I want to see if we can squeeze this somewhere in. So I'm enjoying it so far. It's not too bad. I think now just sort of seeing it from this angle, I want a little bit of kind of height descent now as we start moving down here. There's a little bit of a harsh drop there for me, so let's see if we can address that. We've got some room here to play with some different towers. I think this is where Tower 69 would look nice. Right? I'm happy with that. I don't just want all towers either. I would like some micro districts around to help us bring in some different sorts of buildings. So let's just snap into the grid heights here and we'll just paint in some of this. So let's go for an IT cluster specialization. This one right here. And then let's just bulk zone a bunch of office zoning. Something like that should do us. And I'm not averse either to some actual commercial zoning, I don't think. How does the grid behave if we come in here? Yeah, it's not too bad actually. Let's see if we can bring this down. Can we come under the bridge here? It'd be nice if we could. We can just redraw the curve so the pillar is spread differently. But I'm definitely not averse, just some classic high density commercial. We could also actually specialize this particular area if we just paint this out again to cover this district. So commercial within Lilac Heights, we'll name this after a patron as well. Let's also set the commercial to become Hearts of Korea because there's some spicy towers within the Hearts of Korea stuff, so we'll see what comes in and hopefully that'll be okay. And we've got some more of that path networkage available around the bottom of that tower as well, don't we? So let's do that while we're here for a little bit of detailing. We'll lose some zonable squares, but that's fine, it doesn't matter. And I guess we could keep the trees on it and maybe upgrade into something a little fancier. How about a touch of California palm? Would that be welcome here? It's always nice to have some trees around the base of the tower, isn't it? Even though I'm not going to do it, if you are following along and looking for further Skyline inspiration, please do not neglect your university unique buildings. For example, the School of Tourism and Travel would work tremendously well in a downtown setting. We've done this many times before. I might even end up using this one over here against the waterfront, might be quite nice, but yeah, don't forget about these, they're great downtown assets. So we did also unlock the banking skyscraper, didn't we? Yeah, the skyscraper bank here. I'm looking forward to using this one. Let's see if we can maybe find a position for you here. Something like that. You're going to be alright on that corner. There is a game on, I take it. There must be, yes, very busy. It'd be really nice if we could actually have you have some sort of elevated pedestrian way to get you up and over rather than using the pedestrian crossings. Which I guess we can build a little skywalk for them, it's no problem. Let's actually go for a bit of amusement park elevation. It's quite nice, this one. So where's your minimum draw point? That's your collision mesh right there. Then can we come out from this way? Bet we can if we delete you though, right? Yeah, okay, let's do that then. So we'll start from here and then we'll bring this up. And we'll have it come back down again. Cool, and I don't think a little bit of commercial there just outside the train station would go amiss, would it? And then hopefully now we can link these guys back into the superpath network that is making itself known this way. Actually just redraw this so it's not all weird. Cool, that should hopefully help keep them off the roads because there's going to be a lot of people spilling out the stadium every week there as the match days are played. So we'll see what happens, and a little bit of State City just outside the station here. It's a really nice train station, this one. And no one uses the path. Of course they don't. You know what, screw you all. It's there if you want to use it, whatever. Okay, but this is coming up now. There we go. That green city has settled in really nicely, hasn't it? Is that going to be the descent that I'm after? Yeah, the IT cluster. Yeah, it's perfect, that, isn't it? Happy days indeed. So we'll enjoy that in that space. And again, I want to let a bunch of this commercial level up into different things as well. But love that. Got some nice big back-to-back towers there. Also appreciate a little bit of car parking in the smaller towers down at the bottom. I'm definitely not averse to that height drop there. That's going to be great, isn't it? Look at this now. Main Street downtown is really coming on. Really fantastic. And then, of course, we'll make some choice assets historical here as well as they come in. But there's some nice towers in Hearts of Korea. There is. Awesome. Let's have a little master view now from our approach into downtown Orchard Bay. That's pretty nice, isn't it? Oh, yes, please. I'm happy with that. We're getting a nice authentic skyline here, and of course let's go check it out from the start of the city, right? Of course we always start our cities saying, you know, one day that master view to the skyline will exist. And I'm enjoying that. There is one glaring hole there, isn't there? There's a little, well not a little, it's quite a big distance here. We could definitely do some towers or some sort of height to the right of our tower there as well, couldn't we? The large banking tower. That's definitely something that we want to address. And it's kind of taken up by the tram depot, which now downtown is growing. This is kind of in the way. I do like it here though, but I feel like now the towers, it's a very abrupt ending, isn't it? So I think we might move the tram depot. Yeah, I think we are, just because of where it is. There's tram lines over here, isn't there? So we can actually accommodate the tram depot right behind the train station, which I really like. But I think I just want it a little bit further along than this. Can we hook it into... No, it has to be on the angle, doesn't it? Which is fine, it's not a problem. Oh, it's just too short. Let's try that again. So let's have that one, and then we'll have the tram depot here now. I do want the tram depot part of the skyline. I think actually coupling it with the train station actually might be a bit more appropriate. So we do need to now extend those tram roads back to the network, so of course the trams don't stop coming out. So this now will become a 6-lane tram with trees. And that hooks it back into the network, which is fine, and allows the trams to continue flowing. which means we can now delete this tram depot, which will actually cause a bunch of the trams to disappear because they'll have to re-emerge back out onto their lines, which is fine. Cool, which now frees up this space for a tower. And a lot of these towers come in pairs. This one's quite nice. It's a little bit Empire Statey for my liking. Yeah, it's not really what I want here. How about this one? We'll have that directly next to the elevated road. And then the MLM Centre. I don't want anything taller than the large bank building, ideally. Again, there's so many unique buildings now, I almost feel like I'm neglecting something that would work nicely here. There's just so much choice in sort of towerage these days, isn't there? There really is. The transport tower is a nice one. I definitely don't want to leave this out of the Skyline, but it looks like it might have to fall as part of the part 3 of the Skyline over this way, I think. Cool, and then if we have that one just next door, are we going to be happy with that arrangement as we come in? Yes, oh, that's looking so cool now, isn't it? There we go. Yeah, that really just completes that crawl there, doesn't it? And of course, we've got this gap here, but this is actually going to be part of our oceanfront part build, which we will have another skyscraper in this spot here. And I think I'd like you guys to actually guess which one it's going to be, because I've got an idea for what I want to do with the oceanfront part build. So let me know in the comments which tower you think is going to sit within that space. I'd be interested to see if anyone can guess what I'm going to use. Cool, but this is developing now, isn't it? Let's have a little look from our financial, or our Asia town centre, shall we? And see how now our medium density contributions are factoring into that skyline. That's so nice. Oh yes, a big fan of that, everyone. Very big fan of that. Should we have some very delicate nighttime teasers, perhaps? Oh yes. Oh, easily the most satisfying bit of a city, isn't it? Welcome to downtown Orchard Bay, everyone. Tremendous. Wonderful. Anyway, we won't spoil too much, of course. The nighttime views are savoured for the end, as always. Cool. So our career stuff has really come to fruition now. We'll definitely have a lot of these saved up. Yep, all these guys absolutely fine. Lots of stuff happening over here. I kind of don't mind the little lower density ones here. Although he's about to level up, so we've lost him. Oh, and you're leveling up as well. They're all leveling up in one go. Yeah, see, so this is where we do have to be careful, because that's a little bit too much asset repetition for me, I think. Can we really tell how many of the same towers we've got in there? I guess you can't. I guess you can't really tell. There's maybe probably one too many, I think, isn't there? Let's see what we can do about that. Let's remove this one. And then we'll replace this zone with a bit of office and let some IT cluster fill that spot. Hopefully we'll get a slightly different variation. And then I'm happy with some of these to stay small. You know, it's a nice little sort of contrast, isn't it, as we emerge down Main Street view here. I don't think I hate that, it's alright. This road network hierarchy here is kind of irritating me. So I think we kind of need to rethink the road network here and actually move the skyscraper bank somewhere else just for the time being, whilst this network is factored into what's going to happen. Kind of one of these frames now can probably just move and extend to exactly how I want them to be. So let's come in with that. Let's move you up and then back up front again. And then can we twist you around on your side? For some reason I feel like that's a much nicer orientation to have it like that. That's looking so cool from here now, isn't it? This is so good. And then I'd love skyscraper bank to... Oh god, that train line. Train line's right in the way. Oh god, so just give me anarchy. Just give me anarchy, please. That's Vanilla City Skyline sometimes. Goodness me. We will get you to fit. I will make sure of it. Okay, we'll delete the train line first of all, and then we'll let the bank speak for itself. Again, the orientation of this building in particular is very important. I think that's probably the best one, isn't it? You know, I want that real important sort of corner unit on the asset. The flag there is actually really helpful. What does it say? I haven't actually checked that out before. King and Ban Banking. Okay. I don't know if that's referencing something in particular. Right, let's go ahead and grab that content creator rail again. And then we'll need to bring this around. Now, this is going to be so cool as well, having this elevated rail line flow sort of in and around all the towers. It's going to be a really cool aesthetic once we come to finish. We need to make sure we can bypass the rail. There we go. Snap to that angle there, and then a freeform should see us through. Cool. That allows us to fit the tower in now, doesn't it? And then I think, again, a little bit of high density residential will work. We've just got to wait a long time for the taller assets to come in. So yeah, I guess we can have a bit of residential within the actual downtown itself, but we are starting to bleed away actually from part 2. I don't really want to get too far away from this particular complex. That is a perfect IT cluster asset. Thank you very much indeed. So to return to this space here, we've still got another large spot for a tower, which I don't... Maybe we don't want to put a tower here. Maybe this would be a good spot for some plaza action. What do the glass roof plazas look like out here? I feel like they're nice actually. I don't hate that at all. Could we go either side of the stock exchange? No, they're too deep, aren't they? Then over here, of course, it won't work because the towers are next door. But I suppose we could actually move the Six Rivers Centre across because we do have this space here. Let's explore the idea together. This is a very much impromptu design. So Six Rivers is going to need to move over to like, and I don't think I'm going to have enough room, am I? We'll try it anyway. We'll try it. That's just off by 1 unit, you pain in the ass, City Skylines. That's because that road network's hooked into the transport hub, isn't it? That's why it's off. So like this side here is like 3.5 tiles. This side's 4. Otherwise, it would fit. And now I'm kind of obsessing over that idea. I don't want to lose the glass plazas in the financial centre here. Oh, how much of a pain is that to fix? How much of a pain is that? It involves moving everything over to align with the tile. How much is snapped into this frame? Ah, it's not that much, you know. It's not that much. I'm going to go and fix that. Give me a second. Right, so we've got that drawn in again now. So the Six Rivers is going to move over. And then that will give us just enough room to place in the large glass roof plaza. That is the one we want, isn't it? Do we want the other one? The large one? I guess you won't fit this side, will you, because of the stadium? How much better does the large one look compared to the regular? Are we really missing out on a lot? Oh, having these little jets here is actually quite the enormous turn on, isn't it? Do we want to try that over this side? Everything's off by a tile, isn't it? Oh my god. And the stadium is perfectly set within its frame as well, so we cannot move that over. The only thing stopping this from placing is that road. The 4-lane road. If I downgrade that, I actually save myself a tile, which means the stadium can move over by 1 block, which please God let me place this in, and I will have my design, so we can accommodate the both of them. So I think that is certified. Yes, please, everyone. We have gotten that to fit. Fantastic. Right, that leaves me much happier. Much happier, Egg. Although, why are you flipping around? Oh, you place on the actual side of the road, do you? Where do we want the glass roofs? I guess closer towards the stock exchange would be better, right? Yeah, I think that's what we do want. So let's flip this one around to the other side of the road. And now we need to reintroduce the hierarchy system that's been broken. So we'll grab a road to hold the Six River Centre. I don't really want to lose the positioning of this one particularly. So you will jump up and then Mr. Six Rivers can come back. Cool, we'll reintroduce that plaza around the edge of it. And then this one wants to... Let's come down and around now. We could even do a little tram pedestrian street there and not allow the cars back through, couldn't we? I feel like this is getting fairly convoluted. Apologies if this is becoming boring, everyone, but welcome to the Skyline episode. This is what happens when we have so much choice. Do I want to try pedestrian mode? So it's like cars actually can't pass through this particular bit, it's just for trams. I feel like that might be quite cool. Let's come off the road and then hit the guideline here. Yeah, do we want to try that? I think it might be a really cool addition into the downtown road network frame, mightn't it? You see what I mean when we did that downtown frame? I'm like, things will change and shift. The glass roof fountain plaza is why. It's that tower. It had to go there, didn't it? It just had to. So I removed Torbellini, didn't I? That big, thick green number, which actually now slots in perfectly behind, so we can maintain that. And then it also looks like we can carry on our cute little bottom of tower path design, but we do need to do it as vanilla pathway first to then be able to upgrade it into part life path, which we'll do from that point, not as an elevation. Yeah, there's something really weird that happens with these towers turning pathways into bridges. I had this happen in New York as well. It is very unusual. Whatever, we'll go for the one where it will allow us to do it. Don't know what causes that. And then again, we'll bring that Linden pattern back in on the old faithful prop line tool. Right, that should be done now. How are the trams doing? We have disturbed their flow a lot. Hopefully they're not going to be too pissed off with us. They should be okay, I think. Yeah. Oh no, we have lost a line. You okay, Mr. Tram person? Why? Why have you broken? Where is your other broken line as well? Oh god, yes, because I didn't reinstate this road either, did I? You tool lag. This needs to be a tram road. Now, of course, that tower's in the way. Do we have any wiggle room at all there? Yes, we do, because the tower is there, so we will make that fit again. Now, let's come back to our tram road. Which one are we using for this? It's the ones with the tram lanes in the middle. So we'll bring it under the bridge as we can, and then we'll hide that snapped angle if it isn't too short. Just under the bridge. Cool. And then you should be able to come back in, which was the Galastrum tower, wasn't it? There, we don't actually need that connection there. The tower takes priority here. Cool. And then we can probably bring that down on a road length again. And then let that chill to hook back in there. And that doesn't need to be tram road either. That can just be regular. Awesome. So now we'll think it finally works. It finally works, doesn't it? And I did actually delete the office skyscraper as well from the Japan pack. So let's bring that back into play now as well, so we don't forget that one. Where are you going, Mr. Man? Can we can actually extend the pedestrian road there for it to fill that space. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. What did I just do? Upgraded that tram road, didn't I? Although the trams actually don't come down here, do they? So this doesn't need to be tram road, this one. Should we go for a fancy road while we're under the glass roof plazas? Maybe the one with median? Is that what we want to do here? So there's a touch of fanciness to it. Guess we could also go for tree lined and then have some trees heading down toward the waterfront. Not here though, because we won't be able to repeat it on the other side. Okay, yeah, but I want to explore the possibility of using an extension of that pedestrian street to hold the Japanese tower, which moves it slightly further back in the positioning of the financial plaza. But I do think the accommodation of those glass roof plazas has made an enormous difference. That was definitely worth it, wasn't it? that was a massive arsing about. But I think we've sorted it. I'm much happier with that. Let's also come for a length here as well and eye up the connection around the back there. That should do us. And then we'll actually bring this metro station on the pedestrian road too, but I think we'll do a pathway. And then kind of enclose it, and then we can do some fun little detail in here during our time lapse. Which, speaking of, this feels like a good place for said time lapse. It's time to get funky now, in and around all the bottom of the towers, lots of plaza detailing, refine any growables that I'm not particularly happy with, and then just get everything tidied up, tree line patterns, just examine the traffic, refine any shapes I'm not overly happy with. Detail all these spaces up, change the trees around the plazas, and then eventually decide if I'm going to have a tower that blocks the stock exchange. Because I kind of do. I do like it, I guess. I don't know. It's a wonderful first draft of the Skyline, though. Very, very happy indeed. Let's get it detailed, and then we'll be right back. let's have a detailing review, shall we? So settle in, there is a fair amount to cover here, and we're going to enjoy downtown Orchard Bay from the street level. So now we can see the impact of our initial crawl into high density, right? Much needed as we arrive at these super tools here, and then we'll cut through one of the roads here as we head down onto the main street. There's one thing about Orchard Bay that I'm noticing in the downtown is that it does look so alive. Like the roads are nice and busy, there's a bit of backup at the lights that just makes it look like a downtown, and it's just so satisfying to watch. I really enjoy it. But either way, let's actually head into the city, right? So we now merge into this downtown Orchard Bay, where we've placed a fountain plaza with some extended tiles and some bushes around the bottom, just to help fill some awkward space that was generating with the pathways. And then those pathways do link back around under the freeway now, which actually connects into the bridge that comes up to the pedestrian one up this way. So really happy to see that getting more use, and that of course goes back to the monorail and the ferry harbour over there. Back toward the stadium, I've dropped in a red tree pattern, almost though it is kind of associated with the team, of course, because we're all red here. We've got the Sir Egg Busby Way, someone so coolly put it, and then all the fire trees as well to match the fire stadium, of course. And lots of bushline pathways as well, of course, just to hammer home the design. And then another instance of elevated pedestrian pathway as we pass over the river, over the ferries, and back down this side again. So more walkability for people to get back into the city. And then we arrive indeed at our main financial plaza, and I absolutely love the vibes here from sort of the plaza level. Just so impressive, so cool. Lots of major towers. Also dropped in the disaster memorial building, which is just one of the nicest ones. This comes from natural disasters. It has a bunch of flags on it, which really lends into the whole kind of stock exchange vibe, doesn't it? Having all the different flags here, so super cool building. And really like the way the stock exchange sits in the Skyline. It's a really cool building. And yeah, we've gotten a bit of an abrupt end here, but of course as we develop this area, you know, we're going to have our Skyline sort of descend down into the park, which will be really cool. The transport hub is rarely dropping below 1,000 people a week, which is super nice. And lots of people here waiting for this train line. As you can see, possibly even due another train on this one right now. And then also changed up the roads out the front as well, so people could cross directly in front and come under the elevated road and out into the plaza, where these fountain plazas now have made an absolutely enormous difference to the detail, haven't they? Just given so much to this plaza space to have those fountains there. So super happy with that. And then also zoned in a little bit of mid-century modern over here. Some 1x1s kind of spawn into these small little sort of like street vendors areas. So happy with those. And then dropped in the bull and the bear statues as well from financial districts along with its plaza. And it's just a really cool breathable space. Like from whatever angle you look down this plaza space, it's just looks so alive. really happy with it. I love this view. In particular down this way, and then you can get a sense of it running down here as well. Just such a nice downtown area, super happy with it. And then we come through into our little pedestrian pathway here that hooks up with the road again, and then this comes down onto this one, and then we arrive at that Metro Plaza, which has had some bluestone tile placed around it and a couple of props from plazas and promenades, some benches, and another little viewpoint here as well for people to look out across the street, where indeed you will notice another ferry stop now in the network, which there's a couple of people using. Ferries aren't the busiest things in the world, but you know, it's just more public transport coolness, isn't it? Hopefully they'll carry on getting busier as they head further and further down the waterways, of course. Some cafe detailing here at the bottom of one of the towers, and just what a wonderful difference the actual base of the towers make to the street level, right? They detail it so much. So happy with it. And then we got the official park here as well. Super cool kind of cube tower, has all this stuff towers above it, and just so cool. really love the Skyline. And you see some IT cluster through there as well as it switches down. You can see the back end of the science center up there as well. Overall, just so happy with it. Really enjoyed it. Around the back of this tower we have done some further detailing with fountains and benches just to help fill out some grass space we had around the base of the towers, which I think helps it in a little bit. This area here, don't worry too much about anything left of the elevated road. This will be part 3 of our Skyline development over this way with some fun train infrastructure to be had as well. And people are actually using this train now as well, which is cool. And then the view down Main Street is really nice. Did drop in the science centre here as well, like I mentioned. One of the Korea hospitals as well. These are like really thin and kind of filled a perfect space to surround my elevated road with, and a bit more IT cluster. Food truck plazas, Hearts of Korea commercial. And then of course our super cool glass modern building that sits in the forefront of the Skyline. Which looks even cooler when it has the metro flowing past it as well, which is really great. So super happy with how the networks have all sat in and amongst the Skyline. And we do have a very, very cool approach now as we actually arrive in by this way. Just the new towers now that you can see are going to drive alongside. And we've actually got a really wide Skyline too. I kind of show some wider perspective updates here. So we kind of got that medium density crawl we started so long ago now, right? And it's all come to fruition in the major sort of metropolitan financial centre for Orchard Bay. And of course there's still more towers to add in yet. The Skyline isn't done. We have part 3 to come over this way yet. And up at Mad Mountain as well, right? Everyone's going to be keen for this. We'll finally see downtown Orchard Bay's sort of main bulk of towers in now from this viewpoint, which is very cool. Super happy with it. Of course there's also another famous viewpoint down by this interchange over here as well. Look at that now. What a drive into the city. That is so cool. Tremendously happy with that. And then of course there is another one from the castle viewpoint up here as well. So really cool, right? I'm super happy with how it's developed so far. But otherwise guys, that is going to do it for today. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed it, likes, comments and shares below really do help me out. Even as much if you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. Possibly my favourite Skyline and certainly definitely one of my favourite downtown central plazas, and we do need a name for this central plaza, so get them in the comments below as well and we'll name it next time out. Thanks for all the support again in this series, you guys are just absolutely loving it, and so am I. Please enjoy your cinematics. Otherwise, let's thank you all so much for watching. As always, enjoy the rest of your day.